Was there a bird on my back?
Yeah, she just climbed.
All right,
on
here.
my back.
Adrian, take that. I've got me a salty bird.
See?
You're being attacked by a salty bird.
The salty bird. That bird is my friend. That bird was my friend earlier, sat right on my shoulder. Okay, we're going to talk about generators now. And because this is a brand new one on this boat, there was another one in here. How big was the old one?
The old one was same thing, was 16 kW.
Okay.
European model, but same basic setup.
And it was open. There was no sound cover over it at all.
Right.
And probably as old as the boat, which is
1993.
93. Okay. That was the year we moved to Missouri. Okay, so when you get into this generator, and Mike likes this generator for a lot of reasons, I'm going to let him explain it to you.
Yeah, this generator is way more fuel efficient than the other one. That's the biggie.
Which is a big deal. Yeah.
That was the reasoning for buying this generator to begin with.
And I would say to look at the physical size of this, it's probably a little over 2 feet wide by 4 feet long and probably about 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, it's
roughly.
I think it's 26. It's 23 and a half. Without the sound shield, it's 23 and a half by 42 inches.
Okay.
With the sound shield, it made it 26 and a half by 48.
All right.
So, great thing about this generator is the sound shield makes it so much quieter. The other generator was so loud. It used to drive us crazy. Our bedroom is right behind this wall. It used to drive us crazy at night.
Yeah. And I mean, this thing was, we ran it at night so we could have air conditioning and things, and it was quiet. I mean, I couldn't hear, I mean, you could hear it if you stopped and listened, but you really had to focus on it to even really be able to hear it.
Yeah, so we actually installed this last January at the boatyard. Pretty straightforward. It was basically the same generator, so the hookups were pretty close to the same. Went right back in. I couldn't put it in with the sound shield, it wouldn't fit through the door. But once we got it in, I just reassembled the sound shield on and everything was great.
And there is a video of the whole entire process of pulling the old generator out and putting the new generator in, and they had a crane kind of stuck through the back door here that was hauling it out and bringing the new one in. A pretty interesting video on the Treasured Times Cruising channel. And if you go on there and look for it, you'll see the process of them bringing this generator in and hooking it up.
The only difference between this and a regular generator, like a home generator, would be there's no radiator.
Oh yeah, because it's bringing seawater in. Yeah,
this generator is saltwater cooled. This is a water pump. When it's running, it's pulling in salt water, circulating it through an exchanger, and then dumping it back out with the exhaust. The generator itself is cooled with coolant, just regular coolant. So there's a heat exchanger, so salt water never actually enters the engine itself. It goes through a heat exchanger.
Okay.
You don't want to run salt water straight through an engine like older engines did. They ran salt water straight through, but it eats the engine from the inside out.
Yeah. So this really is no different. The only thing that's different is that there's no radiator. It's got a heat exchanger, which I guess is a radiator. But so the salt water never enters into the engine. It just goes to the heat exchanger and cools that liquid, which circulates through the engine.
Right. And it's way easier to replace a heat exchanger. It's a block about this big.
Okay.
Versus replacing the whole engine because salt water ate it.
No.
So.
All right.
And that's it. The only drawback is that I see is it has a lot of electronics on it. Electronics is what's saving us money, but in an off-grid situation where there's no possibility of getting parts, electronics sometimes becomes a problem. So we just hope for the best. If not, we have to pack it up and go back to the dock.
Yeah.
But so far so good.
And this is the control panel over here, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's half of it. Behind there is 2 more computer boards.
Yeah.
And it's so funny, the computer boards are actually cooled, air cooled by themselves. So
that kept us comfortable. And it's, I mean, 16 kW is, I mean, it's an electric range here. I suppose the water heater is.
Electric range, water heater.
Is your water heater is electric, I'm assuming, but does it also get like a preheated water from the engine?
No, it's a small water heater. So the water heater itself is only about 12 gallons. So our port engine will actually heat the water when the engine is running, and even when the engine's off, it's still hot. So it's still got that water coming through it. It's actually circulating coolant through the water heater through a heat exchanger in the water heater. So if the water heater were to crap out, we could run the engine and heat that water up in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's that fast.
Yeah, I would believe that.
This water that comes out of here will burn you. It's 190 degrees inside the water tank. It's a specially designed water tank for marine applications. So it runs a lot higher temperature. So when you're taking a shower, things like that, you don't need as much hot water.
Yeah.
You're only using a tiny little bit of hot water, and the rest of it you're just using regular cool water.
And trust me, when you go into the shower, you try it on medium, and you say no. That needs to go more towards the cool side.
Yeah.
Look on your back.
Was there a bird on my back?
Yeah, she just climbed
All right,
on
here.
your back.
Adrian, take that. I've got me a salty bird.
See?
You're being attacked by a salty bird.
The salty bird. That bird is my friend.
Uh-huh.
That bird was my friend earlier, sat right on my shoulder. All right, well, that's the generator. All right, boy, there's a lot of systems on this boat that you could go through that actually have off-grid applications to them. Because really, when you're out to sea, everything, and I mean everything, is off-grid.
And nobody's coming to save you.
Yeah, nobody's coming to save you.
Nobody's coming to save you. You can't run to the parts store.
Yep. You had mentioned that the other day. It's like when you need a pipe fitting, you can't just hop in your car and run to the parts store. So, all right.
Yep.
Okay, so one other thing that we were discussing is extra parts and components that you want to keep on board your boat, just in case there's a failure of some kind. And so, Mike, what do you need to keep on board your boat as most important to least important?
Yep. Most important thing is everything. Extra everything.
So
whatever you got on board, get an extra one, because you're going to need it.
Yeah.
At the worst time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was true this week. We lost the water pump that was servicing the bait tank, the live
Yep,
well.
this one here.
And there it was. And guess what they had on board?
Extra
An
live
extra
well pump.
live well pump. so
The old
everything.
one is in here, the broken one.
Yep.
So.
If you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and a share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell. See you next time.